Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Talking about topics and stuff. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?
Evening and welcome to another episode of Absolute Bedlam podcast. I'm going to try and do this interview without touching my fucking face. Right, so we've got Callum from the bottom line. This one has literally been a long time coming. Thought I'd get that in early doors.
I've missed this touching the face thing. Is this a common problem?
Oh, mate, I'm constantly fucking touching my eyebrows and.
Oh really?
It's definitely an anxiety thing. But
I do. I always adjust my hat. I find I'm wearing a hat. Or
doing this with my shirt as well, trying to sort of stretch it because I'm a fat bloke. But yeah. Anyway, so the bottom line, Mr. Callum, singer, songwriter, guitarist, singer.
Yeah.
First question I ask everyone on ABP.
Sure.
How was school life for Callum?
School life. My school was pretty boring, man. Like, actually, well, no, it was and it wasn't. Like, there was no crazy stories ever. I don't believe it was. Our school was actually, I think it was rated the lowest Ofsted in the UK, and then coincidentally, it shut down the year after I left. So that says a lot. It was called Midhurst Grammar School.
Okay.
And it was pretty funny because everyone has pretty poor grammar after leaving there.
Yeah. But, whereabouts is that?
In Midhurst, near West Sussex. Right. Kind of straight line between Portsmouth and Guildford.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Can you remember the naughtiest thing or someone that you knew at school did at school?
Yeah, there was a kid called Ben, and he was just, everyone's got one of these people in their class. He decided one day to take all the blinds off the windows and throw them out the window.
Fantastic.
This is on the whole floor as well, not just one room.
Yeah.
The whole floor. Every blind came out and then got fed out the window onto the floor outside on the second story building. It was quite entertaining, but I don't think he did well at that.
Go big or go home. Do a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure there was way worse things, but I kind of just mentally blocked him out, I think.
Yeah. That's all good. So, the bottom line.
How
long has the bottom line been going? Because I've always wondered this myself, because I've seen you guys a couple of times now.
So, technically, we've been the bottom line since 2011, but we were a band called Thursday's Bad Luck. So me, Matt, and Max were in Thursday's Bad Luck prior to, I want to say we started it in school, but it wasn't really a band. We kind of just played some Alkaline Trio covers and got pissed in the fields. But I think we started playing as Thursday's Bad Luck in like 2008 or 2009, and then in 2011 we started as the bottom line, and then in 2015 Tom joined and we became a 4-piece.
Yeah.
So it's a long time. I hate thinking about how long it is.
Yeah.
Like as many times when I think about this, I'm like, yeah, no, we've been doing this for a long time, man. It's crazy. Doesn't feel this long.
Yeah. A proper musical CV you've got going on.
Yeah.
You'd get less.
I'm
for
pretty sure we
murder,
played
is that what they
every
say?
single dive bar in the UK.
Yeah. Fantastic. So the name, the bottom line, I mentioned this to you earlier, and I thought it was a WWE niche
No,
reference.
yeah, a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
people think that. It's actually because we were called 30. This is such a like. We actually said the other day on tour we wanted to make like a way more like a fake story of how this was for press and stuff because it's such a boring story because we were called Thursday's Bad Luck.
yeah,
We had loads of t-shirts that we printed with iron-on transfers. You know, you get like the ones on you print on a bit of A3 paper and you iron it on. We had loads of them, and I think it actually cost us more money to make them than it did than we sold them for. I think we sold them for like £5, and it cost us like £6 to print them. But we had like 30 of them, and it just said "I heart TBL."
Yeah.
And we were like, we have to change our name. That's something that says TBL. So we went from Thursday's Bad Luck to the bottom line.
Okay.
And then like we kind of thought, oh, we'll see how it goes. Got a couple, and we had a few gigs, and we're like, oh well, we've already advertised our name as that now. That's our name. And
That's like getting a tattoo of a girlfriend and then dumping them and then getting another girlfriend with the same initials.
Same initial, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
That. The
I love
exact
it.
same theory. Although that's somehow still more exciting than our name.
Yeah. So not to get too bogged down by numbers, but I've had a look at you guys on Spotify, and like I've said earlier, I've seen you guys a couple of times. I've seen you at the Anvil, seen you at Takedown Festival in Portsmouth.
Amazing.
Teddy Rocks a couple of times. Obviously, we'll get into Teddy Rocks in a bit. But
Yeah.
you've got 12,000 monthly listeners. So you're doing
Yeah,
something right.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah. So not to get too sort of down into the numbers, because I know every creative person gets bogged down by numbers, including myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I'm not sure about you, but I spend like every minute of the day just like looking. I'm like Spotify for artists. Oh shit, we've only had this many views today. I'm like, but I'm like, I don't know how it works. I'm like, how have we gone up 2,000 monthly listeners today, and then the next day we're down by 5,000? It's like, what's going on? Like, it's so sporadic.
Yeah, definitely. So the next question I've got kind of ties into the numbers thing, which is how much did playing with Simple Plan help you guys out, honestly? And did you find that it just gave you a bit of a push, or did it completely change your entire lives overnight?
Nah, honestly, that tour changed our lives, but in so many different ways. I would say, like, we were so naive and young when we went on that tour, and we went from playing. We'd done some okay sized tours before that, but like we'd gone from playing like 200 cap rooms to 5,000 cap arenas for 6 weeks straight, and like we soon realized like we were not the right size band to be playing on this bill. Do you know what I mean? Like all our gear was old hack. Like everything we'd have technical issues every night, and then it's stuff like, and I mean the shows were we grew a fan base. We still have a fan base from that tour now that people come see us. And they're like, oh, I remember I've only known you from Simple Plan and, in Milan and something like that. People fly to England to see us. But like, I don't think it didn't push us as much as we imagined. Like we did a headline tour in Europe, not at like 3 or 4 shows, like a month after we'd been touring with them. We sold like 30 tickets a night. Do you know what I mean? Like, but the thing that it changed us in is it made us like that band they're the best performers. I don't know if you've seen Simple Plan live.
Haven't.
But
no, not yet.
They're one of the best live bands we've ever seen. And when I think the first night we watched them, we were like, holy shit, like we need to take some notes from this. And we noticed the further along the tour we got, the better we were playing live. Like we were being less of a jokey band and being more of like a good creative live band. Like we realized that we were selling more CDs if we were playing better. And we took a pallet of 3,000 CDs on that tour. And the guy that did merch for Ghost Town, the medium-sized band, he rang Sam Carter from the Architects, because he does merch for them. He was like, "Look, this band's brought 3,000 CDs as the opening band." He was like, "They're never going to sell that." And then by the end of the tour, we were selling 300-400 CDs a night just outside hustling. Whereas the first day of the tour, we were selling like 2 or 3, just because we changed that much just by watching the band play every night and being like, "Oh shit! Well, if we make this song a bit longer in the middle 8 here and talk to the crowd here, rather than just stopping the song, talking and blabbering on and then starting the next song, just little things like that." And still to this date, we look at things and say, wow, if we did this after that tour. And like we missed a lot of opportunities from that tour, I think, just because we were so young and so naive. We should have released an album directly after that tour, and we could have done a lot, I think.
Not to get too deep too quickly, but do you think the bottom line have something to prove? So when someone says to you, you can't sell 3,000 CDs, you make it your absolute life mission to prove that person wrong.
100%. Like we got told by, oh God, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Set It Off when we were in America, and our van had just blown up in the desert, and we still managed to make it to sound check, even though our van was burning in the side of a motorway somewhere. They were like, you guys are literally like the cockroaches of pop punk. Like you just cannot die. And I think that's the thing, that we thrive on shit like that. Like if we were just, I feel like we'd be bored if we just sold out shows and people actually wanted to come to our gigs. We didn't have to force them to come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If everything went smooth, it would be boring.
Yeah, we're so good in crisis. Like it's crazy. I think we're all internally a little bit ADHD.
Yeah. Love it. Next question I've got is, what's your personal opinion, Callum, on band support buy-ons these days? Is it a game of who wins sort of has the most money? Or do you think it's a fantastic launching pad like what you guys did at the sort of start of when Tom Newman joined or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is that the buy-on sort of thing has changed these days. And like it's subtly hidden in some clauses that you don't even realize. Like we've done tours before where you're not buying on, but if you share the bus costs, like with this band, you can come on the tour. And then you realize, actually, a tour bus is £600 a day, rather than 180, £200 a day for a van. But you're on a tour bus, so you're still winning and you're not losing money, but you could be making a lot more money if you weren't paying that out than before. So I think a lot of that is happening these days, which, you know what, I think if you've got the money, do it. But I feel like a lot of the bands with the money, they have a glass ceiling. I do think like, you see, and they come in, they have a couple of years of everyone knows a band, they've been on every single tour for a year, and then you never hear from them again, and that's it. But
so I recently had Sean Smith from the Blackout on here. He was talking about running the Blackout as a solo operation, as an independent band, which we'll kind of get onto in a bit about you guys. But he said on an interview recently, there's a coach or tour bus he was looking at getting for the Blackouts tour next year. And there was one coach or tour bus for £24,000, and there was another one for £49,000. And Sean's quite weird with that.
Like we never knew how much it was. Like when we did the slam dunk a couple of years ago, we were really good friends with Zebrahead, and we were like, we've been in lockdown for like 2 years or 3 years. We're like, this is our first shows back in 3 years or whatever it was from COVID. We're going to share a bus with Zebrahead and just have an absolute rager of a 3-day stint. So we were like, we'll share a bus because it'd be fun. And then so they were like, well, yeah, if you guys can sort out a bus, because when we share a bus with Zebrahead, we get them in like Germany and stuff like that. So now we never have to sort them out. I was like, yeah, how hard could it be? Oh my God, mate. Like there's some of the prices they come back with. And I was like, how can it vary this much? It's just a big box with 10 wheels on it. But you can pay mega money. Like Beat the Street. If you go like Beat the Street buses, I've heard of like $2,500 a day. Just insane.
You justify that? This one's got a PS5 in.
The thing is, like, we've been on really nice buses before, and we've been on terrible buses. There's no difference because all you do is sleep on it when you drive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it
gets you to and from the venues.
I think if we were selling out 5,000 cap venues, we'd still probably just go for the cheapest option of a bus.
As
long as it doesn't keep breaking down.
That's it.
Yeah, our first ever bus crashed into a tunnel, on the Simulplan tour.
Jesus.
When we were sleeping.
Oh my God, this could be a 5-hour podcast if we talk about all the breakdowns that you've had.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't even know what to start.
Marshall Records. This is when I first kind of noticed, okay, all right, these guys are doing some stuff. Fair enough. You left Marshall Records. You obviously don't have to go into this too much, but I do quite like the story behind it. Sort of, what was the reason for leaving, and how is life now as self-managed? comparison.
It was more like it was pretty amicable. It was kind of like it wasn't one person, it wasn't one-sided. It came to a point where it just made sense for us not to be on the label anymore. I mean, we love the guys to death. Like we still speak to them all the time, and they came at the exact right time we needed them for. But like at the end of the day, like we said earlier, everything comes down to money. Like we weren't bringing enough money in for them to warrant having us on there. They weren't bringing us enough money. Like it just wasn't working both ways.
Yeah.
And the problem is we would end up if we stayed with them for another 2-year contract or another album contract, we would then rack up such a bill that we would never ever see any royalties from our stuff.
Yeah.
So it just made sense. And like we'd never, I mean, I'm sure we'll get onto it, but like we'd never produced any music before. Well, I'd have, but not to sell.
Yeah.
So we were like, we needed someone who was going to pay for our recordings. But then when we realized that we could do it ourselves, we just took the jump. Then it just made sense at that time to do it. So, but like they're amazing guys, and like Pete from Marshall Records is an absolute hero, and they're doing really well. They signed Nova Twins, and they're absolutely smashing it. Like they are going places that get those girls. But no, it's great. I don't regret it. I wouldn't change it.
There's a funny story I've got about Marshall Records. There was a woman there called Charlotte.
Clayton,
she set me up with Preston Miko, who are one of my favorite bands ever, and they just released an album called Transmute. So I said I want to speak to Luke, who's their singer, and this was like my 4th recording, man, and I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. I still don't. And I joined the Google Meet with Luke, had a 1.5 hour conversation with him, and then realized after the conversation I hadn't pressed record. So my heart immediately left my body, and I literally just wanted to die. And Luke was actually on Twitch after doing the interview with me, and I was like, mate, I fucked it big time. And obviously you've got a limited window when you're doing a promo run. So
oh dude, that's brutal.
but that was like a bit of
was
a weird
it directly
moment
afterwards that you realized that as well?
Yeah, because on Zoom, when we press like leave meeting after this, the recording will start syncing.
Yeah, I got a little notification saying here that it's recording.
Yeah, and it will
We've done
output
it
into
so
my
many
files.
times, mate. Like our band, we never meet up together. Like when we're on tour, that's probably the only time we're together, or we're doing like a music video. Apart from that, we're never together. So like when me and Max like force ourselves to meet up and do like fucking cringy TikTok videos and all that sort of stuff. The amount of times we've gone back and we're like, yeah, we actually didn't record any of that properly. Like it wasn't recording, or there's no audio, or we're missing something. We're like, fuck's sake. Like technology's great, but it's also terrible.
Yeah, literally that. But there we go. We're now on episode, I think this is like episode 210. So we won't let the little
amazing.
I'll try my best, mate. I'm trying my best, you know. Just got to keep rolling and running with it, you know.
You change the background every time, or do you keep it the same one?
I try to keep the Bedlam Beehive on the back.
I used to play Beehive Bedlam every day.
That's the one. Yeah, man. Sky.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My dad was like had like a major high score on it. He was crazy. I'm pretty sure he was addicted to it. I think everyone was addicted to it though.
Definitely. There was not a lot of Sky Sports being watched when I had the remote control, let's put it that way. Right, so Teddy Rocks. We mentioned it earlier. Massive, massive festival about 10 minutes away from my house.
Is it that close? Wow.
Yeah, Weymouth to Blandford isn't too far away.
Nice. Good old Weymouth.
I used to help out at Teddy Rocks kind of when it was going through its Chadswick Farm sort of phase, and now obviously that's is that the name of it, or is it Chattersworth?
Oh, Charisworth.
Yeah, the main place, because it was going through a sort of venue rotation, wasn't it, at one point, and now it's
so it started at the Corn Exchange, and then it went to the Greyhound, and then it went to the field by the skate park, which didn't last long because we realized it floods.
Yeah. It's very flat. But something very close to my heart. Seen lots and lots of bands there. I've seen In Me play there, my favorite band of all time. I've seen Feeder play there.
Great band.
So what does Teddy Rocks mean to you, both as a performing artist that sort of routinely plays, and, you know, obviously it means a lot to Tom Newton, but if we can kind of pretend that the people that are listening or watching don't know the backstory, are you happy to explain it? Because you've probably got a bit more of an eye for it than myself, who usually just goes as a punter.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you and everyone else who knows Teddy Rocks has seen the story about about Ted, Tom's little brother. But I think like we have such a family there now. Like I've worked for Teddy Rocks for 12 years now, and like it's just like a little holiday every year, and like I'm gonna see these people that I never see for the entire year apart from these 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the field. And it's just every year we get like we lost a really good friend of ours to cancer this year, and it was actually whilst we found out the news whilst we were building the festival. And it's just like that's just what makes. And this year was very hard. We had a lot of rain and a lot of bad weather during the build, and that sort of stuff has made us push through. Cause you're like, this is what we're doing this for. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's been affected by cancer, and this is like sometimes I feel like I can't really help with stuff, but with Teddy Rocks, I'm like, this is what I can do to give it my all. And playing it's amazing as well. It's such a good festival. I mean, you've been like, it's probably one of the most like tame. There's no dickheads there. Do you know what I mean? Like you never get a festival where there's just no dickheads. Never seen a fight there. Like, I go to a lot of festivals where there's just piss heads everywhere.
Looking for a fight,
yeah. But I mean, you'd be a bit of a dick to kick off at a children's cancer festival, wouldn't you? Really, like,
yeah, definitely.
It's a great vibe, and it's great seeing all the bands that come in, like, and they come in with no expectations, and they go out with such a different mindset of what this festival is all about, and then they tell other bands, and sometimes we've had some of the headliners donate almost all of their fees back.
Yeah,
like it's great. It's insane how much this is not just a normal charity event. Do you know what I mean? This is a proper festival, which I think a lot of people don't realize until they actually come to it, which is great.
You've played every stage, basically, haven't you? As the bottom line,
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually said we might have a year off next year just to break it up. It's pretty tough trying to play and work there at the same time. But
got a big Tom Newton up as well. I've never this isn't even Teddy Rocks, man. This is just in my life. I've never met anyone. I've never met anyone that's so positive.
Yeah,
it's just able to
just
shrug off
100 plates as well. Like,
yeah,
it's insane. I do admire that. Like, he's always got something else going on in the other hand while he's doing something.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah, he's had a lot of thrown at him, that boy, and he smashed it all the time. It's great.
Shout out Tom Newton.
Yeah,
there we go. I will be invoicing you, Tom. Get ready. So the bottom line, we'll sort of do this one, and then we'll go to a break, and we'll join the next Zoom meeting. But just from a sort of outside perspective, as a fan of your music, all of your songs genuinely seem to be about something that's like learning from life experiences or mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite refreshing to hear this, because I think pop punk music usually gets tarred and typecasted into writing songs about pizza, beer, and girls.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? And what do you primarily think is worth writing about? Is it just you wake up in the morning in a bad mood and you think things aren't going your way, or I'm in a fucking great mood and I want to sort of shout from the rooftops?
When we went to write No Vacation, I think that's where it started. Like, we were just jamming. I think it was somewhere in like someone's random living room in Germany, and we were like, look, no more songs about girls. Like, it's just, there's no point. Like, maybe a couple like every now and then, but like not just these. There's a lot of like random, just like fictional songs about girls, like stories that they're not even real. Like, what's the point in it?
Yeah.
And we've had so many people in the industry just take advantage of us and fuck us around over the last 10 years. We're just putting all of these things into this, but putting a kind of happy spin on quite a what's the term? Melancholy type, vibe.
Yeah.
We like the music sounds happy, but the lyrics are angry and sad.
Yeah. Like I'm Broke, which is all about being poor.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I think there's a lyric I heard at Takedown, which was like something about an iPhone. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I've got cracks on the screen of my iPhone and living in a place that I'll never own.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, shit, he's got me. It's like he's written the song specifically for me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's actually, I think that song's actually cost us more money than we've actually made off it.
But then you have the sort of secret sauce of turning the song around. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of people at Portsmouth Takedown Festival. There was a lot of people singing the words back to you. And you seem to have developed a sort of community that's like me too. Like I completely understand with what you're saying, and I can relate.
We just want to try and write some. We just try to write songs that people can interpret in their own way, sort of. But there's also a clear motive behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, especially with Broke's a pretty obvious one, but like all our sort of recent stuff, it's some of the lyrics you can probably turn around and make it about a relationship or a breakup, but they're usually the last 5 or 6 songs have usually been us being pissed at people in the industry who messed us around. Which I probably can't name on this podcast.
No, that's fine. That's all good. We don't want to start ousting people. It's not about that. It's just about chatting to people. That's it. Yeah, calling people out. So before we go to the break, because it hasn't quite come up yet, but we've got a bit of a tour plug, haven't we? And we've got a new single dropping soon. So do you want to go ahead with that?
Yes. So, oh God, I need to prep this.
It's all good.
We have October 19th, The Bottom Line and Joshua Roberts from Magnolia Park. We have got a new song coming out called Here We Go Again. It's going to be great. It's actually one of my favorite songs we've done in a long time. It's an old riff that we found on a laptop from like 2010. And we were like, that riff is sick. Let's turn it into something. And then before we knew it, Josh from Magnolia Park was on it. Then we were touring Magnolia Park, so he managed to come and do it with us. And now it's coming out next week, and it's my favorite song, I think, so far off the upcoming record. And in November 14th to 18th, we're on tour in UK, headline tour. Southampton sold out. London's getting pretty close. And then we are on tour the whole of Europe with Punk Rock Factory and Bronny, which is going to be great. I can't wait for that. Going back to some places we haven't been on since the Simple Plan tour, which is going to be sick.
Fantastic. I might have to ask a question offline about the Punk Rock Factory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mercilessly trying to track their email address down, and I cannot find it, Callum, and it makes me pissed off. So, right, we'll go to a quick break.
Yep.
Let you grab a drink, go to the toilet, do what you need to do, play a gig. I don't know what you do in your spare time. But we'll join the next meeting, and we'll get started on part 2, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Cheers.
Do you need that extra burst of energy? Do you need motivation? Do you need that X factor? Well, Go Energy has you covered. Whatever gets your juices flowing. Whatever you need to let your hair down. Have a go at it all with Go Energy. Gluten-free, vegan-friendly, and no artificial additives. Go Energy. Use code BEDLAM10 at checkout.
And we are back. The reason we're back is because I got more questions.
Oh, nice.
Deep part of the episode. Callum, what keeps you inspired and motivated to write the musics?
That is a deep question. I honestly don't know these days. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why are we still doing this, man? But I feel like we have a lot. I think it's been tough as well since like COVID and stuff like that. Yeah. We were touring a lot, and then we tour a lot less since that. I think a lot of bands do anyway. But like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if that was quite nice not doing that for a bit. And then you write a couple of songs, and nothing feels the same as when you play live. As soon as we get on tour, I know for a fact that the second we get into that pre-production room, like the day before tour, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is my life. And I think that's all we need. That's what brings us back. And then usually that's our most busy time for writing music. Like we'll finish a tour and everyone will be so pumped, and for like 2 or 3 weeks everyone's super on it. We're like, right, we've got to finish these tracks. Or well, actually we've done the last, I think Fake Love, we recorded it on the road. Like Matt was programming all the drums in the van, we recorded gang vocals in the van, like stuff like that, where it was so productive. And we're very good at when we're together as well. If it's just me, like, oh, I need to write a song this week, I write all our music anyway, but I need to be with everyone.
Yep.
We just bounce off everyone. Like, so I have a riff, I'll just go through my notes. And I'll be like, okay, I got this riff and this vocal melody. Then we go, okay, cool. And then before we know it, half an hour later, we've got a whole song pretty much.
Yeah.
Like everyone brings their own special bit to it, which is really nice, rather than just having one sole songwriter, basically.
Apparently, everyone's phone notes is a window to their soul. So I've got something called Google Keep. And honestly, Callum, I plan things until they're not fun anymore. And I have to plan my entire life in 15-minute increments.
Really?
I'm quite a forgetful sod.
Yeah.
And that can trigger my anxiety because I'll open it up one day and be like, oh, okay, I'm meant to be on annual leave, but I've got 8 things to do today.
Yeah.
So I need to work on that and spread it out a bit more because I do overcommit. But there we go.
I'm the opposite. I tell myself I need to have everything planned.
Yeah.
And then I don't plan any of it. And I just wing it. I wing a lot of stuff.
Wing it.
I get a lot of texts from band guys like, shouldn't we sort this? I'm like, nah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Oh, I've got a title now for this. Winging it with the bottom line.
Winging it, yeah. Yeah. we have a good friend called Pete Wing. And he is I think I can say now because he's retired. He was a London Met police officer.
Yeah.
And I'd never got more drunk with a person in my life, which is quite ironic. But every time we do something, we always say, "Oh, we're gonna Pete wing it." Nice. I actually really hope that he listens to this because I don't think we've actually ever told him that we always say every time we do something, we're like, "Oh, we'll just Pete wing it."
But love it. Yeah. There we go. Hi, Pete, if you're listening.
Yeah, Pete, if you're listening, bloody legend.
Right, so I got to give you a bit of praise, but unfortunately, I can't remember what song this was. But you ran a campaign where you turned every social media platform that you had into a call center to the point where I was actually questioning whether or not, like, you put so much effort and energy into that, man, as a band. I was like, fucking hell.
You know what's annoying?
Yeah.
Like, that was for Broke.
Yeah.
And we put more effort and money into that one song, and it's one of our least streamed songs on Spotify. It's crazy. The problem is though, we did go too far with that call center thing. Like Marshall were like, this is too much. We were like, no, honestly, it'd be fine. And then we were getting into arguments daily on I think it must have just been very poorly timed with people who were getting hacked a lot.
Yeah.
Because we were getting comments on YouTube. They're like, guys, you need to go onto your Instagram or your Facebook because you guys have clearly been hacked by like a thing. And then we were like, just call the number on the screen. And then they were like, oh, great, your YouTube's been hacked too. Like, we're like, and then like it would 1 in 10 people would be like, oh, I've just listened to it. I get it now. I feel like we did it a little bit too much in like classic bottom line fashion. Yeah. We didn't make it look jokey enough, so everyone just thought we'd been hacked. We did it for like a week and a half as well.
Well, if the bottom line doesn't work out, mate, then you are a marketing guru. So I'll set you up with some people if you shoot me a message.
My notes are full up of, I swear down, on my files I have like 500 different recordings of the voicemail thing for the bottom line. I think it was called the bottom prices, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very funny.
That was good. I enjoyed that. But yeah, good stuff. Don't like to let stuff like that go unnoticed.
I'm really glad you got it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
didn't. So you mentioned earlier that you write all the music. Is there a chance in the future that it's a more of a collaborative approach, or does that kind of just suit you guys currently?
We would love to do collabs. Like, we would love it, but it's just no one wants to collab with us.
Right, okay.
Not well. No one. We write with friends a lot. Like we take a lot of advice from friends. We will send out our demos to, like, I think each of us got like one close friend that we trust musically, and we'll send it to them, and they'll be like, I use our friend that we lost. He was like our 5th member of the band, Mav, his name was, and we would send it to him, and he was gospel. Like, if he said this bit needs to change, we would change it, because he was the only person outside the band that we would trust enough to move it. Like, even the label would be like, this, you need to change this. We'd be like, nope. But those close couple friends that we'd have, we would do that. That's probably the closest we came to collaboratively writing with people. But we would love to like do like collabs with like bigger bands, but it's pretty tough to get it. I think unless you're blowing up on TikTok, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
hard to get. You
Make
got
that
people.
work.
You got to make. They got to come to you, and if you're not doing the trends, they ain't gonna come
Yeah.
to you. Sad, really.
I'm constantly being told to get on TikTok, and I just can't be asked, man. I'm 34.
Tough, mate. It's
I
tough.
can't handle it, man. It's too like people are saying you should cut these up and make them clips and put them on TikTok, and they'll get like
Yeah, it
millions
does
of
do.
views. And just
But it's one of those things. If you've got 1 ounce of mentally, like if you're mentally unstable for 30 seconds in the day, looking on TikTok at your stats will crush you. It does for me every day.
Yeah.
Like me and Max will go do a week's worth of content in a day, and like we'll post 3 times a day sometimes, and like we get 300 views, and we're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like we'll just post a random video. I think we posted a video of like piss coming out the side of a tour bus on our TikTok. It got 100,000 views. We're like,
mad.
it's just soul crushing, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like I don't understand it, and I know a lot of these. Well, I know like Magnolia Park do it for like a lot. Like we were talking there when they were telling us how much they spend like time wise filming these videos and editing them, and they edit them all themselves, and they look incredible. But we just haven't got the time for it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like
Yeah.
you've got to really dedicate your time to TikTok, and
Yeah.
when it pays, it does. But if
Yeah.
it does, flogging a dead horse for weeks
Yeah.
on end, which is a shame.
So, question about writing your music. Do you have riffs in your head, Callum, and then you go into a studio and create a fully formed product song? Or
No.
do you write everything and tell the others, crack on?
So since we left Marshall, I produced everything, and a guy called Zach Pritchett. I don't know if you know him. He mixes everything for us. He's just a solo like mix engineer for us.
Yeah.
But we program. I do everything, like minus the drums, which Matt taps in because I do not understand how that works. But usually, what will happen is I have like a massive folder on my MacBook of just riffs and vocal melodies along to chord progressions, and I'll just go through them and I'll go, okay, that one's good. 9 times out of 10, unless I have an idea in my head that I just thought of, and then I'll go into my little studio thing. You can't see it here. It's covered.
Yeah.
I literally just have an iMac with
Yeah.
some monitors and an SM7B, but I'll record like the guitar part before with a vocal melody, like hum it. Usually the lyrics are the last thing to come in, which I didn't realize wasn't that common. I mean, a lot of people have lyrics before, but then I'll do that. The Matt, super rough. The drums will literally be like hi-hats and kick drum. I'll put in Phil's very bad ones where I think Phil should go, and then he'll send it back to me with his drums on it, but tapped in perfectly. Then I'll produce the song fully. Then I'll record my guitar parts to him, and then usually at that point we'll go to the band. Then we'll all sit down and write the lyrics to the melody, and a lot of the time we change it up. But it's a long process, but it seems to be the one that works for us.
No, fair enough. You found your way and your recipe.
Hooky bits and it's hard to, especially in pop punk. I think it's hard to find something like you're never going to reinvent the wheel in pop punk, really. It's just hard to find something that hasn't been done before. It doesn't quite sound like something else, but still sounds fresh.
Yeah, completely. So I was going to ask a question then. It's completely fallen out of my head. That was it. Do you prefer to headline the main support or open shows?
I actually think the dream is main support.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got the pressure of selling the whole thing out. It's not your gig, but it is. But like, if the gig doesn't sell out, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And if you're the opener, you got a chance. You're not playing to the full amount of people who have bought the tickets.
Yeah.
Main support all day. I would love to just do 5 years of touring as just main support. It's great. And all your stuff's packed in the van by the end of the night. By the time the gig's finished, you can just sit, relax, have a beer. It's a good slot. It's a good slot.
Yeah. because I think when you're headlining, it's a very hurry up and wait sort of situation where you're at a venue 7 hours before you even need to.
First one in and the last one out. You can't get too pissed because you're
Yeah.
playing late. You can't have dinner until like 2 in the morning, and
Yeah.
then you don't get to a hotel until like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pain. But then sometimes they're the best shows. It's a
Yeah.
it's a good.
Yeah, definitely. So, what are you currently listening to on Spotify? Can you name sort of 5 bands?
Let's have a look. Actually, I know for a fact Chad Tepper. Do you know Chad Tepper?
No, I think I've heard of him, but I haven't actually listened to him.
Cool. He's just signed to Epitaph, and Pierre from Simple Plan's done some writing with him. So I checked him out the other day.
Right.
It's pretty cool. It's quite diverse. Some stuff he's done some collabs with like Bryce Vine, so there's a bit more like poppy stuff. And then he also has some like just pure pop punk stuff, which is really cool. Been listening to a band called 408, if you've heard of them.
Okay.
If you like,
No, not listened to them. I'll check them out.
they're currently about to. Well, I think they might be on tour with Magnolia Park at the moment. They've just signed to Big Noise Records, which is Feldy's label, but they are absolutely smashing it. They're like classic. They're kind of like the American version of us, I'd say.
Okay.
Very catchy riffs, very catchy vocal melodies. There's 3 singers in the band, which is quite rare.
Yeah.
Fantastic voices. I'd definitely recommend checking them out. What else I've been listening to? Chlorine is a good band. They're a very small band. They're a good friend of ours. Jared, his name is. They live in Portland and Oregon, but they're kind of like 4 Year Strong meets Deftones. Weird, but it's very cool, and it's produced by what's his name? Alan from 4 Year Strong.
Yeah, I love 4 Year Strong. I'll check them out.
And then who else? I think that's kind of all I've been listening to at the moment. But I'm one of those people that like once I find a new band, I'll religiously listen to them until the novelty is gone for like months and months on end.
Yeah. So Chlorine have done a EP called Lust. Is that the right one?
Let me have a look. It sounds about right.
Roses and Feelings.
No, their last song is called Novocaine.
Okay, I've got a band from New Zealand. Stand by.
It looks like this.
Okay.
That's their.
Just got shitloads of 21 Pilots because they've written this. I got it. Yeah, they wrote a song called Chlorine. So yeah, I'll give them a shout. I love a bit of Deftones. I love a bit of 4 Year Strong.
And it sounds obviously because Alan's producing it. It sounds ginormous.
Love that.
Yeah,
fantastic. So we've got a bit of a silly. Go on, sorry.
What are you listening to at the moment?
What am I listening to? Okay, let's have a look. I listen to a lot of podcasts at the moment.
Oh, really?
I'm listening to Joe Rogan, Jimmy Carr. Oh. He's recently come on.
I had a stint of listening to a lot of Joe Rogan, then I never have time, and I hate half finishing a podcast.
Yeah.
I've got an hour's drive, so I'll listen to an hour exact podcast. If I have to come back to it, it makes me angry.
If it's anything less than 20 minutes, I'll just mark it as played.
Yeah.
There is like nothing worse than having to stop and pull over to listen to something else. I listened to Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands.
I listened to an interview with Billy Corgan earlier that I'll send you. There's a guy called Matt Stocks.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute legend.
I actually think I have Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness as the only CD right here.
Yeah.
The only CD I own in my house.
Siamese Dream.
Dream is.
Siamese Dream.
Pumpkin CDs down there.
That's all good. A bit of Che Amy Duval, who I recently had on the podcast. She's got a new album called The Crowned. Gonna go see her in Bristol at the end of the month. Sleep Token, absolutely love Sleep Token to death. I know some people don't understand it, but I'm well into it. Bit of Skin Dread, bit of Mike Shinoda, and a bit of Don Broco.
Tell you what, Mike Shinoda, he did that EP a couple years, like in lockdown. That was
Post-Traumatic.
I absolutely.
Else?
It's the one with Post-Traumatic, is it?
Fantastic album.
Yeah, that was one of the best things I heard in a long time.
Yeah, that made me cry. because the voicemails and stuff where they're like checking in on him.
That one, isn't it?
Fucking hell. I really want to get him on. Just as a side note, if you are watching, Mike, then drop a like, mate.
Yeah, do it, Mike.
Please come on the podcast. Yeah, there we go. Right, so we've got a bit of a silly question. It's a series of questions.
Okay.
Favorite animal and favorite animal noise.
Well, favorite animal is a dog. Big dog person. Big dog. But favorite animal noise. I like a pigeon. We have where I live, where me and my girlfriend live. We have pigeons have sex like every day in our garden. Only in the summer, but it's like crazy. We become like these pigeon watchers. It's really weird. Like when I come home from work, I'm like, pigeons are having sex. Must be summer now. Like
That's
I'm pretty sure
wrong.
every pigeon. I'm like, I love it. They're so funny, I think. So yeah, definitely pigeon. I wasn't sure about that when you asked me that question, but I know for certain now it's pigeon.
If I do bite the bullet and get TikTok, that is absolutely getting clipped. Because that is by far the strangest response I've had to that question.
And I'll get you some proof.
Yeah. There we go.
Get down on TikTok.
Next silly question. Is a Kinder Egg a toy with a shit bit of chocolate in it, or is it a deliciously chocolate treat with a bonus of a toy inside of it?
That's a really tricky question, I think, because Kinder chocolate is so superior.
It's good,
but
yeah.
It's such a small amount of chocolate. If you were to crush that up into a cube of chocolate, it would be so small.
Yeah,
it's the size of a fingernail.
Yeah,
and the prizes in there are shit now. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I haven't had one recently, but I've had one in the last year, I'd say, and they are pretty terrible. We don't even put them together anymore.
No.
I remember before it'd be like a Meccano set in there, and you'd be like, you'd be there for hours putting it together. But now it just comes out the box like a little stack.
Free thing that you just clip together.
Yeah.
Rubbish. Broken Britain. There we go. Camping in a tent or a static caravan for 1 week.
Oh, static caravan. I don't like camping. I really don't.
I don't like it either, really. I'll do it, but I probably won't enjoy it. So.
Yeah, but I would much prefer to not be in one.
Do you prefer? Go on, sorry.
I'll be the ones that have the tent. It looks a bit like the Bedlam thing, with like the different. I'd have like 10 rooms for myself. Then it would just be being a snob, I think, wouldn't it? Is that the way to say?
Glamping? Is that what it's called? Glamping?
Glamping isn't bad. But is glamping camping? Probably not.
There you go. Leave a comment below, guys. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I feel like a diverse question. A lot. It's going to split the audience a lot.
Split the room. Would you prefer to live in the city or live in the countryside?
I think the country, man. I always have done. Always have done. I love going into the city, but I like coming out of it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've been pretty much the countryside my whole life. It's just so nice. Well, now I live by the water, so it's great. But yeah, I did a lot of traveling to London when we were with Marshall, like every week, basically getting up to London. And I love the hustle and bustle of it, but coming home and just having no noise is so nice. I think I'd lose my mind. What about you? Do you live in the country or are you in the city?
Yeah, Weymouth's quite rural, really.
Oh yeah, you're Weymouth, of course.
London, I'm the same as you. I can get in and get out. But yeah,
you're the same as me. You have like Finns as your part. I have like my equivalent of Finns from Weymouth there.
Yeah.
That's
I'll give Finns a shout out as a music venue, but I get a bit sick of going in there and seeing the same people that are constantly telling me that they're going to write a book and become famous, and then 4 years later you go back in there and they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, it's the same place as me. Like I feel like it's we're in like alternate universes.
Yeah. Do you prefer chocolate or sweets?
Oh, chocolate all day long. One of our songs is literally written about me having an addiction to the Yorkie bar.
Okay. What's that one?
Happy it's called. I was fat, man. I wasn't hugely fat. I've lost like 15 kilos since like 2016, and it was all because of the Yorkie bar. I swear. Wow. I used to eat, I'm not even joking, 3 a day. And I ate a lot, but like I was like there's a lot of calories in these Yorkies, and there was always a duo. And I was like, I tried to give it up, like I was giving up like crack or something, and I just couldn't. Before I knew it, I had another Yorkie. I'm like, I literally couldn't stop eating Yorkies. So we wrote a song about it. I was miserable because I wasn't eating Yorkies all week. But try to make it because it would just be weird. Literally, if we sung it literal and it was just like, give me a Yorkie bar, it'd be a bit odd.
Yeah. Got a couple more quick fire ones. I'm just conscious of time at the moment. So bath or shower?
Shower.
Mornings or evenings?
Ooh, mornings.
Mario or Sonic?
Mario, every day.
Apple or orange juice?
Orange juice, but no bits.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Weirdest place you can remember sleeping?
Oh my God. On the floor of a guy we just met in Manchester with 3 Rottweilers in his kitchen, and dog shit everywhere, and we had to crawl out the balcony because we were too scared of seeing him the next morning because we thought he was going to murder us.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not the weirdest place I've slept.
There we go. Straight away, got the answer.
That isn't slept. We slept in a place in Leeds.
Okay.
Cooling. It was an abandoned house. The guy gave us the keys for it. And we found knives in every drawer, and there were samurai swords in the mattresses.
Right.
If you ever from Forever Came Calling on, ask him about that night, and he has some stories from that.
Love it. I'll definitely consider that. Right. So when you take the bins out, do you lead or do you follow what your neighbours do?
I'll always follow because our bins come early, and I have to, and I can't see in the morning. My girlfriend goes to work goes to the gym really early, so the bin goes out then, and it's pitch black. So usually it's the day before. We're like, okay, the green one's out. Put the green one out. Nice. I'm not good enough to know which one it is, even if I did put it before.
Yeah. If you could take away one item from a house to slightly inconvenience someone, what would the item be and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would take the inside bits out of the light switches, so the plates are still there, just not the switches. They're just, if the lights are already on, they can't turn them back off again. That would really annoy them, obviously, especially for the energy crisis.
Yeah.
Turn them on, they couldn't. Yeah,
I'd definitely rather be able to not turn them on than to have them on all night.
Yes. Yeah, it would be it would be quite an inconvenience, I would say.
Absolutely.
The middle bits of your switches.
Do you have any paranormal experiences?
Yeah, my mum and dad's old place, where we used to rehearse. Me and Max and Matt, we swear we've seen ghosts there. So weird. Like there's a dining room window that you could see from outside. Yeah. And we'd always stand out there when we'd load the van, and we can always see, it looks like some people are walking past the glass. Super weird. There'd be times where we'd be rehearsing and lights would turn on and off, rooms, doors would open and close. Like we'd come out, one door would be open, go back in again, come back out, it's closed again. Super weird house. Quite glad we don't live there anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
It was
I love a bit of a paranormal experience. I want to try and go on a ghost walk probably next October now, because we're now 22 days away from Halloween, I think.
Ah, yes, that's very
too
true.
Close now.
Yeah. Have you had any paranormal experiences?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I did mention them in an episode with a band called Harbinger, but I'm happy to go through one now with you if you want.
Okay, I love it.
What was it? So I think one of my mum's friends bought a Ouija board round our house once. Always a great. Most people bring a fucking bottle of wine, but this woman obviously didn't have anything to hand, so she just bought a Ouija board over. So it was a bit of a weird meeting of the world where I was quite young. My mum said, "I'm not doing a Ouija board unless there's like a spirit guide here."
Okay.
So then they started doing it, and someone came through that had died in a motorbike crash, and they all knew her.
God.
Then something really strange happened. I think I went to the toilet and came back, and it had all gone to shit. And I think it said something like Beelzebub or 666 came up on the Ouija board, and we said goodbye, because you can say goodbye and leave the board. But the tumbler that we were using, we weren't using a planchette, we were using a tumbler. It filled with smoke. And this is when me and my mum, I think this is right, bear with me. We were on the top story of a flat, and one of my mum's friends threw the glass that had the smoke in from the top story of the flat to the pavement, and it bounced. It didn't smash, it bounced. So yeah, don't know.
What the
Weird.
fuck? I hate stuff. I hate that.
I always get goosebumps when I talk about ghosts and stuff. So
yeah. I feel like I want Tom DeLonge to prove that next.
Yeah.
Like I might if I ever get lucky enough to meet him, I might be like, look, you've done the alien bit now. Let's work the ghosts bit. Can we prove they're real or not?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's the least he can do.
I know.
Rubbish. Fantastic. So last question.
Yeah.
Final question. We'll get back to plug in afterwards. But how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know, honestly. Like, I just want to remember. I want to know that as long as we're making people happy, that's all that matters. Like, I mean, as much as we're doing this for ourselves, we love making everyone happy when we're playing shows and making everyone happy with our music. As long as that's in it somewhere, that's all that matters to me, really. Like, that's getting deep, though.
Yeah.
Very deep.
It's a good answer. It's a pretty tough question. Some people don't know how to answer that. Some people don't want to be remembered. So,
yeah.
But yeah, just got to try and make people as happy as possible whilst you're here, and hopefully, gives people something to laugh about and
that's
entertain the masses and all that.
Yeah, when you're laughing, everything's a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. Plans for the future? Anything you want to plug? We've got about 10 minutes, so the floor is yours. Anything you want?
What's coming out in the future? Right, we got Punk Rock Factory Tour in December. I think it's from the 23rd of November till the 11th of December. We're playing a headline show in Germany, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but it is wait, let me find the name. I'm going to try my best to pronounce it. It is called like Oberhausen. I actually think that's pretty close, actually. Oberhausen.
Yeah.
Playing there on the 11th of December. If anyone knows where that is, and if you're listening from Oberhausen or nearby areas, please come, because we don't know where it is. I'm pretty scared about it, to be honest. But that's going to be fun. And then we have our UK headline tour from November 14th to 18th. And shows are weirdly selling out for the first time ever. Southampton's sold out. London's not far behind. Nottingham, we have Lacey playing with us, and Thomas Nicholas, if you know him from he played Kevin in American Pie, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
And he's now plays in a band, so he's opening the show, which is gonna be very odd and very cool. So that's gonna be one hell of a show that in Rescue Rooms.
Yeah.
Pre-save our new song "Here We Go Again" with Josh from Magnolia Park on the 19th of October, which is scarily close. It's next Thursday.
Yeah.
Will this already be out by the time that song is out?
It'll probably be out just afterwards, just because my editors have full-time jobs and dogs and kids and shit. Selfish they are. I fucking pay you guys, and you don't fucking edit in time. But yeah, there we go.
Well, in that case, our new song "Here We Go Again" is out now.
Hey,
that's it.
Nice.
Because it is now gone October 19th. Right now. So that's how they do it. That's how they do it on Channel 4, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
they've been weeks in it.
That's it. There we go. So, if you can get me Kevin's email address and American Pie, then that would be great.
Absolutely, yeah. That he would definitely be. He would love to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I need to get some more actors on, man, because I'm just
very right. He's pretty much a full-time musician as well now. So he's got a lot of, I can imagine he's got a lot of stories. But when we finish this, I'll hit you up with his email.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. The weirdest one I've heard like that is Neil Buchanan from Art Attack.
Yeah, that's on a whole nother level though. He's on like a crazy death metal band, isn't he?
Yeah. That's,
I
that's
never-
so.
The thought of it is enough.
Yeah.
Have
And
you listened?
Keanu Reeves is in a band as well.
Yeah,
Have I
I saw
listened
that.
to them? No, I don't know the name of the band, to be honest. I assumed it's Art Attack Part 2 or some shit.
It's I know that what's it? Keanu Reeves has just had a deal with Fender. I saw that on Fender's Facebook or Instagram yesterday. I was like, this guy doesn't need an endorsement. He can buy his own Fender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The richer you get, the less stuff you have to pay for.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he does not need an endorsement by Fender. He can go buy 10 of them if he wants.
Absolutely. Was that a line in Love Actually? Don't buy drugs, get famous, and you get given them for free.
Oh, most definitely. And if it's not, that's probably a Nickelback lyric.
Yeah. From Rockstar.
I want to find out
Fantastic.
Cannon's band. Yeah, here we go. It's called what is it? Marcel.
Okay.
They were a heavy metal band from 1976 to 1980.
All right. Only
They
4
were-
years. I thought they're still going.
Old metal band.
Mm.
Wow, he looks.
Yeah.
He's like Neil Buchanan's like ancient.
The fact that he doesn't have a signature guitar that's like an easel and a paintbrush is a massive missed opportunity, in my
Played a
opinion.
thing.
Yeah.
Which is just dreadful.
Right, we
But
got
that-
6 minutes. So any shout outs, any companies, anything you want to quickly mention before we have to make a move?
Oh God, probably I'm gonna forget them all. Shout out to Picture Vehicles. They are legends and good friends of ours, and they've been helping us out a lot for vehicles for tours at the moment.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ernie Ball for helping
Yeah.
us out. Sennheiser, always forget to shout out to them. They're great. They give us a lot of expensive stuff that we need a lot.
Yeah.
They need a lot of shout outs. Who else do we? I think that's all we have to help us out these days.
Yeah.
One of the days of Fireball and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Good times.
More Fireball than we did have liquid in our bodies. It was insane.
Well, I'm sponsored by a company called Go Energy for the podcast, and they send me
Hey,
more.
That's your message on that. I just saw that.
Yeah, I'm up for that, man. If you want to send me your address, I'll absolutely get some over to you.
Absolutely. We would love to take that on tour with us. It'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Awesome. Right, well, we're done here. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for
It's the
having me.
most precious commodity we have as human beings, and I appreciate you spending an hour chatting to us.
No
So,
problem.
Yeah,
Thanks for
nice
having
one.
Loved it.
Check out the Bottom Line, guys. Check out them on the social medias, and definitely go see them on tour because it'll be worth it. See you later, guys.
Yeah, man.
I'm sick of being so broke. My life is a joke. I've lost all control. Maybe it wouldn't be bad if my life went to plan. My friends are rich, they don't understand. Well, I'm a 2024 man's rebel, paying my bills right back to the devil. I'm never gonna make history when this goddamn day is killing me.
Absolute bedlam.
Hey guys, it's John here from Absolute Bedlam.
Bedlam.
We just wanted to take a moment to introduce you to our brand new Patreon. If you head over to Patreon now, you can get access to behind the scenes footage, ad-free content and episodes. You can even send your own requests in terms of the content you would like to see us create. All of this is available to you and more. We've got free options available to you as a patron with us. If you just want to support what we do and help build the Absolute Bedlam experience, a small fee of £1 a month, you can do just that. If you want to get access to that ad-free content, those ad-free episodes, for £5 a month, you can join the Hive. And if you want all of that and more behind the scenes footage, commission works with us, live Q&A sessions, for £10 a month, all of the madness, all of the chaos of Absolute Bedlam will be yours. So head over to Patreon now, become a patron, and join the hive.
Absolute Bedlam Podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?